One coaster. What if Iran never fell? Tourism in a modern Persian paradise. Picture this. You land at Tehran International, one of the busiest airports in the Middle East. The terminal is sleek, modern, rivals anything in Dubai or Singapore. Outside, palm-lined highways lead into a city that never stopped building. This is Iran in 2026. Not the Iran you know, the Iran that could have been. If one revolution had never happened, this country wouldn't just be open for business. It would be one of the hottest travel destinations on Earth. See, before 1979, Iran wasn't some isolated backwater. Tehran in the 70s was Paris meets Los Angeles. Women wore whatever they wanted: miniskirts, designer dresses, bikinis at the Caspian Sea. The nightlife rivaled Beirut. International airlines had direct flights from New York, London, and Tokyo. Western rock bands played sold-out concerts. The country had the fastest-growing middle class in the region. The Shah was pouring oil money into modernization at a staggering pace. Highways, universities, hospitals, ski resorts. Foreign investment was flooding in, billions from America, Europe, Japan. Iran was climbing, fast. Economists in the 70s predicted it would be a top 15 economy by the year 2000. And then, almost overnight, the doors slammed shut. But what if they hadn't? What if the Shah had reformed just enough to stay in power? Or better yet, transitioned Iran into a constitutional monarchy like Spain did? No revolution, no theocracy, no international isolation. Iran keeps its oil wealth, keeps its Western alliances, and keeps modernizing. No sanctions, no brain drain. Millions of Iran's best and brightest never flee the country. By the 2020s, you're looking at a nation of 90 million people with a GDP rivaling South Korea's, maybe higher. A nuclear energy program for electricity, not weapons. And tourism? Tourism would be absolutely massive. Let's start with the capital. Alternate history Tehran in 2026 is a megacity of 15 million people with a skyline to match. Think rooftop cocktail bars overlooking the Alborz Mountains, underground jazz clubs, Michelin-starred restaurants blending Persian cuisine with French technique. The shopping district on Valiasar Street would make the Champs-Élysées jealous. Persian fashion designers competing with Milan and Paris on the global stage. Iranian cinema, already celebrated at film festivals even in our timeline, would be a cultural powerhouse. And the best part? Everything costs a fraction of what you'd pay in Europe. Your dollar goes 3 times further here than in London. Head north, and you hit the Caspian coast, Iran's Riviera. In our timeline, these beaches exist, but they're segregated. Women can't swim freely. Tourism infrastructure is minimal. In the alternate timeline, this is the Mediterranean of the Middle East, resort towns stretching hundreds of kilometers along the coast, 5-star beach clubs, water sports, parasailing, seafood restaurants where you're eating fresh sturgeon and the finest caviar on the planet. Iran produces more caviar than anywhere else on Earth, by the way, while watching the sun set over the water. European tourists would come here every summer, the way they flock to Greece or Turkey. Now here's where it gets really special. Iran doesn't need to build attractions. It already has them. Isfahan alone would justify an entire trip. Nakshi Jahan Square, one of the largest public squares on the planet, surrounded by architecture that makes your jaw drop. In this timeline, Isfahan is a UNESCO-protected wonder, with world-class hotels, guided tours in 20 languages, and a bazaar that would put the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul to shame. Travel magazines would rank it alongside Rome, Kyoto, and Barcelona. South to Shiraz, and you're in wine country. Yes, wine country. Most people don't realize this, but Iran was making wine for 5,000 years before the revolution banned alcohol. The Shiraz grape, one of the most popular wine varietals on earth, literally takes its name from this city. In the alternate timeline, Iranian wines are competing with Napa Valley and Bordeaux. Sommeliers fly in from around the world for the annual Shiraz Wine Festival, and just outside the city, Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire, 2,500 years old. In our world, it gets a few 100,000 visitors a year. In this timeline, millions. It's Iran's Colosseum, its Great Wall, its Machu Picchu. Here's something most people don't know. Iran has incredible skiing. The Alborz Mountains north of Tehran get heavy snowfall every winter. Dizin and Shemshak are already functioning ski resorts in our timeline, but they're bare bones by international standards. In the alternate Iran, these are world-class destinations with heated gondolas, luxury chalets, and après-ski scenes that rival the Alps. Imagine skiing all morning on pristine powder, then driving 45 minutes down the mountain into a city of 15 million people for dinner and nightlife. Aspen meets Metropolis, except the lift tickets cost 1/10 of what you'd pay in Colorado. European and Russian ski tourists would flock here because the snow is phenomenal, the season is long, and the prices undercut Switzerland by 70%. Down south, the Persian Gulf coast. Kish Island is already Iran's attempt at a free trade resort zone, but imagine it without restrictions. A tropical paradise competing directly with Dubai, which, remember, was basically nothing in 1979. That's the cruel irony. Dubai built its tourism empire with Iran's blueprint and Iran's exiled money. In the alternate timeline, Kish and Caspian Island are the original Gulf luxury destinations, and Dubai is the one playing catch-up. And we need to talk about what this all means for Iranian women. In the alternate timeline, there's no mandatory hijab, no morality police, no being arrested for showing your hair. Iranian women are doctors, CEOs, artists, athletes, visible and celebrated. The tourism industry itself would be transformed. Female tour guides, hotel managers, airline pilots, not exceptions, but the norm. Women traveling solo to Iran without a second thought, the way they visit Japan or Portugal today. Iranian women designing the fashion, running the restaurants, directing the films. That alone changes everything about how the world sees this country and how Iranians see themselves. With open borders and a booming economy, Iran becomes what it always was, geographically. A crossroads, sitting between Europe, Asia, and the Arab world. Direct flights from everywhere, visa-free travel agreements, an annual tourism industry worth tens of billions. High-speed rail connecting Tehran to Istanbul, Baghdad, and the Gulf states. Iran isn't just a destination, it's a hub. Travelers stop in Tehran the way they stop in Singapore or Dubai. Except Iran has something neither of those places has, 5,000 years of unbroken civilization. That's the Iran that could have been, a country where ancient history meets modern luxury, where you ski in the morning and swim in the Persian Gulf by evening, where women walk freely, wine flows in Shiraz, and the world comes to visit instead of turning away. One revolution didn't just change Iran's politics. It erased one of the greatest tourism destinations the world never got to see. A country with more UNESCO World Heritage Sites than almost anywhere in Asia. Beaches, mountains, deserts, ancient cities, and a culture of hospitality that's literally thousands of years old. And somewhere, in a timeline just next to ours, those doors never closed.